Hi everyone, my name is Kyra Deloach, and today I will be talking about 21st century learning. So what is 21st century learning? I know for me, I think a lot about let's get the Chromebooks out, let's give everybody an iPad, a lot of electronic or digital resources. But 21st century learning really refers to certain core competencies such as collaboration, digital learning, critical thinking, and problem solving. And advocates believe that schools need to teach this to learners to help them thrive in today's world. So a lot of these skills, it's really focused on the learning, not like the tools that they use, but how can we get learners to get comfortable with these skills? There are a couple components of 21st century learning. We're going to focus on 3 of those today. These few are the most common throughout research all over the internet: collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. First up is collaboration. And throughout my research, I found that collaboration was described as the following. Learning in collaboration is an educational approach to teaching and learning that involves groups of learners working together to solve a problem, complete a task, or create a product. A couple examples of how we can really drive this home for learners is forming teams, doing group projects, working with someone different than you in some capacity, whether that's culturally, economically, just like someone you haven't talked to. And some things that they're going to gain from that is they're conversing with their peers, presenting and defending ideas when they're speaking to each other, exchanging beliefs. They can question others, and they can also present to their peers their ideas and their beliefs. Our next component is communication, and the National Education Association explains this as expressing thoughts clearly, crisply, articulating opinions, communicating coherent instructions, and motivating others through powerful speech. So communication can be oral, digital, written, nonverbal, or public speaking. I think when we think of communication, we only think about talking, but this can also encompass listening as well. So a couple examples of this are community development projects where learners are able to engage with the community and diverse people in their community. Practicing interview skills is a great way to use communication and practice. Designing with constraints, so having an activity where they need to do something specifically, but there are some challenges with a group, they can communicate through those and come to a solution. And then activities based on communication only. And so doing these things, what would they gain? They would gain the understanding of others, the ability to communicate their ideas, and listening skills. So then the last component we have is critical thinking. And again, the National Education Association talks about this. It says, learning critical thinking leads students to develop other skills such as a higher level of concentration, deeper analytical abilities, and improved thought processing. Critical thinking also draws on other skills such as communication and information literacy to examine, then analyze, interpret, and evaluate. A couple examples for critical thinking, again, group projects showing different ways to achieve the same goal. Presenting and researching. Everyone researches differently and finds different resources and presents them differently. So I feel like a huge way to show that and show that critical thinking process is through presenting research. And then, like I said, showing how you came to an answer in a presentation. So giving learners a problem and then having them explain how they came to that individually or as a group to show the different workings of collaboration and communication as well. So how I use 21st century learning to get them ready for their position as someone who has to communicate, collaborate, and help these residents. The 2 biggest that we focus on are communication and critical thinking. In terms of communication, we do a ton of team building. One example that I think of is we play this game. It's called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. And basically you have a group where there's one person holding the switch and they're trying to defuse a bomb. The other part of the group, they have a manual and they're trying to explain what the person who has the objective should do. Another way that we communication is through concerns reports. In terms of critical thinking, we also practice this, a game called Behind Closed Doors that my coworker created. And then we have the RA pick up the card, read it, and then explain what their thought process would be and what they would do to help the resident or fix the situation. How I'm going to move forward with 21st century learning. I try to instill these skills in our residents and our resident assistants, but I think that I'm not intentional with them. We do have themes for our programming and stuff like that, but I really want to focus more on the content that we're giving to those students, help them develop these skills such as communication, critical thinking, and collaboration. In conclusion, 21st century learning is super important, and I think it's something that I hear a lot. Residents wanting more of those real life skills. Being conscious of this as someone who educates others is super crucial. This connects perfectly to TPAC and learning, thinking, and understanding. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope that you have gained some insight from this presentation and that you can work towards giving learners those skills that they need for the future.